Well, hello children. Last time we have discussed about the expiration and inspiration. Fine. And I told you that inspiration it is a active mechanism and expiration it is a passive mechanism. So in the inspiration what will happen? The air rushes inside the lungs. Air rushes inside the lungs. Fine. So air rushes inside the lungs. So here the phrenic muscles will contract. So the diaphragm becomes straight, and here the volume of the thoracic cavity will increase longitudinally. Fine. And when the external intercostal muscles will contract, the thoracic volume will increase in horizontal, that is the dorsoventrally the thoracic cavity size increases, and anteroposteriorly when the diaphragm will become straight. So the pressure inside the lungs will decrease when you compare with that of the atmospheric pressure. So the air rushes inside, this I told. And during expiration what will happen? The diaphragm will relax, so it will come to its original shape, that is dome shape, and the size of the thoracic cavity decreases anteroposteriorly, and then when external intercostal muscles will relax, the dorsoventral size of the thoracic cavity decreases. When the thoracic cavity size decreases, when the volume decreases, automatically here the pressure increases, thus air from the lungs will get exhaled. This much we have discussed. Now let me go to the next slide. Well, let me go to the next slide, children. Well, so here whatever I told, that is in the written form. That is expiration, it is a passive process. Expiration, it is a passive process. Fine. As here the muscles will relax, and inspiration, so inspiration it is active process. Fine. Well, let me take the pen. Okay, inspiration it is a active process. Inspiration it is active process where muscle contraction is involved. So this knowledge you have. Now suddenly when we take the deep breath, it is due to the increase in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and decrease in the partial pressure of the oxygen. So when carbon dioxide concentration in the body, in the blood increases, then we will take deep breathing. When partial pressure of carbon dioxide increase means it is automatically understood that the partial pressure or the concentration of oxygen got decreased. Now breathing at high altitude. Breathing at high altitude. So you have to know little about this. This you will read in second year under heading altitude sickness. So air at mountains is thin and of low density. So residents of high altitude are acclimatized. Acclimatized means what? They got adopted. So visitors first suffer from hypoxia at 4,000 meters height. So this causes mountain sickness including high blood pressure, high breathing rate. Find what is the normal breathing rate? It is 12 to 16 times per minute. So visitors become normal after some days when their number of RBCs and hemoglobin percentage increases. So this you have to know. What will happen when the person will move to higher altitude, that is in a hilly area, you can say like 4,000 meters approximate height is given here. So when the person moves high up in the hill, there the density of the air is thin. And the person will suffer with suffocation. I mean, he will not get sufficient amount of oxygen. He feel like vomiting, nausea, and giddiness he feel, and his heartbeat will become very fast, heart palpitation what we say. Fine. So initially the person will suffer with these symptoms, and this is called altitude sickness actually. Fine. So after some days, adaptation, it is a nature of every organism. Likewise, when the person will stay there for some time, his body will get adjusted, adopted. What all changes we can see in his body? The number of RBCs, here it is written, fine, the number of RBCs increases and the hemoglobin percentage also increases, and the affinity of hemoglobin towards the oxygen decreases. That is how the person will get adopted. Now inspiration is for about 2 seconds and expiration is for about 3 seconds, that is in 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, the cycle of respiration will be completed. One cycle of respiration will be completed. So actually, you all just observe yourself, children. When you breathe in, when you will take air inside, so our abdomen will come front because of the diaphragm will become straight, isn't it? So actually, the abdominal breathing is the correct breathing. So thoracic breathing is the wrong one. I mean, usually we have to breathe through the abdomen. So just check yourself. When you inhale the air, our stomach must move forward. When you exhale, it must move inward. So this is the correct method of breathing actually. See, in the pregnant ladies, it will become little difficult because the baby will be accommodated in the uterus. For that reason, it will be the place for the movement of diaphragm will be less. Fine. So just check yourself. Now next what we have is the dead space. So next heading what we have, dead space. Fine. Dead space means, so in the respiratory system, when the air will travel from the nasal cavity, nasal chamber up to the alveoli, some amount of air will remain in the conducting zone of the respiratory system. In that air is not used for the exchange. That air is not used for the exchange, and that is called the dead space. Fine. Well, it reduces the amount of entry of fresh air into the lungs. So this much you have to know. Now let me go to the next slide. Next. So here, well, so here we have got the rate of breathing of some animals and even in the human beings. So 40 to 60 time. See, 40 to 60 time we can see in the neonat. What do you mean by neonat? It is the when the newborn baby will be there, when a child is born, up to 4 weeks it is called neonat. Neonate. Fine. ಸೊ ನಿಯೋನೇಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಮಗು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗ 4 ತಿಂಗಳವರೆಗೂ ಏನು ಟೈಮ್ 4 ವಾರದವರೆಗೂ ಸಾರಿ 4 ವಾರದವರೆಗೂ ಏನು ಟೈಮ್ ಇರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಯೋನೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಮಗುನ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ನಿಯೋನೇಟ್ ದ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರೇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಅಡೋಲೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ 14 to 18 time. Fine. In the adolescence it is 14 to 18 time, and in the human adults it is from 12 to 14, or you can say 16 time, and in the children it is little bit high because they are very active. Fine. 18 to 22 times in the children, and in the embryo it is 0. Why in the embryo it is 0? Because through the placenta the gaseous exchanges will be taking place, and 10 times per minute when the person will be sleeping. At that time no need of much energy, and in the frog it is 80 times per minute, in the rabbit it is 38 times per minute, and in the shrew, a shrew is very small sized mammal, so 120 times per minute it will respire. And when you take the elephant, which is the bigger one, it respires 6 times in a minute. So on an average, when you see here, see the smallest one will respire more and the bigger one will respire less. Fine. The smallest one will respire more and the bigger one will respire less. So on an average, a healthy human beings breathe 12 to 16 times per minute. So this is just to compare the rate of respiration. Now let us go to the next slide. So here we have got the respiratory volume. So respiratory volume, it include pulmonary volume and respiratory capacities, you can say. First here we have got the pulmonary volume. Pulmonary volume is the volume of air in the lungs, and we have got four pulmonary volumes. The first one is the tidal volume. The first one is the tidal volume. So tidal volume can be written as TV. Fine, it can be written as initial letters, just we have to take. It is TV. So it is the volume of air inspired or expired during the normal respiration. So it is the volume of air taken in or given out during normal breathing. Like as we are breathing now, all of our normal, no tension, nothing, and we are not doing exercise, neither we are doing a stressful work, isn't it? So at that time what we breathe, that is called the normal breathing, and the volume of air what we take in and what we give out is the tidal volume. A healthy man can inspire and expire approximately 6,000 to 8,000 ml of air per minute. How do you take this? So TV is the tidal volume, which is 500 ml, and we have to multiply that with the respiratory rate, and you know respiratory rate is 12 to 16 times approximate volume you will get. So tidal volume ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬ್ರೀದಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋ ವೇಳೆಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೋತೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬ್ರೀದಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೋತೀರಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬ್ರೀದಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ, ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಏರ್ ಡು ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬ್ರೀದಿಂಗ್, ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ 500 ml of air. So this volume you have to remember. Fine. So next one is the inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume, you can write it as IRV. Just you can write the short form IRV. What is inspiratory reserve volume? It is the maximum volume of air. See, the maximum volume of air a person can inspire by forcible inspiration over and above the tidal volume. That means, see, when you take the normal breathing, you are taking 500 ml of air inside. Fine. When you take normal breathing inside, after that forcefully you will take some more amount of air. So that extra air what you take in is called the expiratory reserve volume. Fine. That is called inspiratory reserve, sorry children, inspiratory reserve volume. What is inspiratory reserve volume? After normal breathing, when you take extra air with the effort, like that is called the inspiratory reserve volume. How much it will be? From 2,500 ml to 3,000 ml. So this you have to remember. Inspiratory reserve volume ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಗಾಳಿ ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೋತಿರಲ್ಲ, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಗಾಳಿ ಅಂದರೆ TV ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್, ಅದು 500 ml ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೋತಿರಲ್ಲ, ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಉಸಿರಾಡಿ ಏನು ಗಾಳಿ ತಗೋತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರ್ತದೆ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ 2,500 ml to 3,000 ml ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಿ ನೀವು? Expiratory reserve volume. Fine. So this one it is written as ERV. The name itself says. The definition of the volumes is there in the name itself. So it is the additional volume of air a person can expire by forcible expiration. See, when you breathe out normally, that is tidal volume, 500 ml you'll be breathing out. Fine. After that, forcefully what you breathe out, that amount of air is called as expiratory reserve volume. Fine. You will not expel, you will not expire that, but forcefully by using the abdominal muscles you can expire. So that is called expiratory reserve volume. Reserve. you have to keep in mind it is reserve. Always we will not use the reserve things, isn't it, in the home also. So those reserve air, when you expire it forcefully, that will become expiratory reserve volume, and it is 1000 to 1100 ml. That is 1000 to 1100 ml air. Fine. Next one is the residual volume. So residual volume, it is indicated by RV. So the volume of air left in the lungs even after the maximum forcible expiration. So this averages from 1100 to 1200 ml. See, after forceful expiration also. See, when you, the volume of air left in even after the maximum forcible expiration, whatever amount of air will remain inside the lungs, that amount is called residual volume. Fine. ನೀವು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗೂ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಿನ ಗಾಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ಆಲ್ ದ air which is there in the lungs will never get expired. Fine. You can't exhale all the air. The amount of air which will remain in the lung, which you can't expire, you can't take it out, even forcible expiration also, even by forcible expiration also, that air is called residual volume. Hope it is clear. Tidal volume means the normal breathing volume, that is the amount of air normally what you take in and give out, it is 500 ml. Inspiratory reserve volume means it is the amount of extra air what you are taking after normal breathing. Expiratory reserve volume means extra air what you are exhaling, what you are expiring after normal breathing out. Residual volume, it is the amount of air which you can't exhale even through the forcible expiration. Then you have to just remember the volume. Fine. Now let me go to the next slide. Hope it is clear. Next we'll just go through it through the diagram. Fine. Let me go through the next slide. Now, respiratory capacities. Respiratory capacities, it is a combination of two or more pulmonary volumes. Fine. What is this? It is a combination of two or more pulmonary volumes. So here you'll be coming across 5 respiratory capacities, like inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity, it is indicated by IC. It is indicated by IC. What is this IC or inspiratory capacity? It is the total volume of air a person can inspire after normal expiration. It includes tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume. Fine. What is inspiratory capacity? It is the total volume, how much a person can inspire after normal expiration. See, when normally you will expire air, how much air you can take, that is called the inspiratory capacity. So this inspiratory capacity to include the normal air volume and the extra air which you will take forcefully. So IC is equal to TV plus IRV. What is IC? IC is equal to TV by IRV. That is inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory capacity ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಗಾಳಿ ನೀವು ಒಳಗೆ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ನೀವು ತೊಗೋಬಹುದು? ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಂತೂ ಉಸಿರು ತೊಗೋತೀರಿ ಟಿವಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಏರ್ ಏನು ಫೋರ್ಸಿಬ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೋತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. So inspiratory capacity formula is TV plus IRV. Fine. Expiratory capacity, again same definition you have to write. There you wrote inspiratory and here you have to write the expiratory. So expiratory, how do you write? EC. Just initial letters you have to take. How do you define expiratory capacity? Total volume of air a person can expire after normal expiration. It includes tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume. So you can write TV plus ERV. ಫೈನ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಉಸಿರು ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿನ ನೀವು ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅದ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ? ವೆನ್ ಯು ಬ್ರೀತ್ ಇನ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ. ಫೈನ್. So after normal breathing in, how much air you can give out? That is called the expiratory capacity. How much air you can breathe out? Tidal volume, of course, will be giving out, and the extra air also with the effort you can give out, which is called as expiratory reserve volume. So this is called expiratory capacity. Fine. Now, functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity, that is FRC. It is the total volume of air that will remain in the lungs after normal expiration. So it includes expiratory reserve volume and residual volume. It is about 2300 ml. So what is functional residual capacity? The total volume of air which will remain inside the lungs when you expire normally. How much amount of air is going to remain in the lungs after normal expiration? One is the RV, residual volume, which you never give out. Our lungs will never give out this residual volume. And the another one is normally we can't give we will not forcibly expire, isn't it? We will not forcibly exhale always, though that air also will be there inside the lungs, which is called expiratory reserve volume. So these two together will become functional residual volume. Functional residual volume ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಉಸಿರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಒಳಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಒಳಗಿರ್ತದ? ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತೂ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪಚ್ಚಿ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಚಪ್ಪಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ? ಮತ್ತು ಇ ಆರ್ ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ. ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ನೀವು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಡ್ತೀರೇನು? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ? ಅವು ಎರಡು ಸೇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ತಿಳಿತಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನದ? ವೈಟಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ವೈಟಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು? ವಿ ಸಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ತೊಗೊಳೋದ? ವಿ ಸಿ. ವಿ ಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ a person can breathe in after forcible expiration. After forcible expiration. So this include ERV, TV and IRV, or you can define it in another way. What is that? A maximum volume of air a person can breathe out after forcible inspiration. Hangare togore. After forcible inspiration, how much air you can exhale or you can take. After forcible expiration, how much air you will take in. Whatever way you can take. What all volumes will come here. So here, of course, expiratory reserve volume will be there, tidal volume will be there, and IRV will be there. So what is the vital capacity? Vital capacity means after forceful expiration, how much air we can take. Or you can write even after forceful inspiration, how much air we are giving out. So it include tidal volume, of course, is there. Fine. And inspiratory reserve volume will be there because you are taking forcefully, and also expiratory reserve volume will be there. Fine. So all these together is considered as vital capacity. Now it is total lung capacity. Total lung capacity. So total lung capacity, it is the total volume of air accommodated in the lungs at the end of forced inspiration. This include RV, TV, it include RV, residual volume, expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, and inspiratory reserve volume. So all these together is called total lung capacity, or which is also called TLC. What is it called? It is also called as TLC. So let me write here, it is not given in the book. TLC. Fine. So what is TLC? So the total volume of air which is accommodated in the lungs after forceful inspiration. So that is called the total lung capacity. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಉಸಿರು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಒಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಾಳಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಹೌದಲ್ಲ. ಏನೇನು ಇರ್ತದ, ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದ, ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ನು ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದ. ಅದು ಅಲ್ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಏರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ that also will be there, and the extra air what you are giving out, that also will be there. So all these four volumes together will make the lung capacity. Now how much air a person can take in and how much air a person can give out. So this amount of air is measured by an instrument called spirometer. So spirometer, it is an apparatus, or you can say instrument, for measuring the volume of the inspired or expired air by the lungs. And the process of representing that graphically is called spirometry. Fine. So this spirometry, let us know the diagram afterwards. Fine. Here just how much air we will take in and how much air we will give out, that is represented graphically on a piece of paper. And this process is called as spirometry, and the instrument which will help in recording the respiratory volume is called the spirometer. Now let us know this through the diagram. With the help of the diagram, let us know this. Fine. So let me go to the next slide, children. Let me use the okay, here we have got a diagram of a lung. So it is the lung. We have got a pair of lung, one pair, we have got two lungs we have got. Fine. So here you can see the diagram, lung. Fine. So the normally how much air will remain always in the lungs? This one. Fine. So this is called the residual volume. This much amount of air will never give out. Fine. Our lungs will never give out. So this air remain always in the lung, which is called residual volume. So during the normal breathing, we are taking the tidal volume. This amount of air, that is 500 ml of air we will be taking in and we will be giving out. So that is called the tidal volume. And this, see, when you inhale extra air forcibly, that will become the extra, the lung size will increase much. So this is called inspiratory reserve volume. This, of course, it is indicated here. Fine. And forcefully what gas you will give out, that is called the expiratory reserve volume. Fine. So these are the four volumes which you have to know. So always in the lungs, what all air will remain in the lungs? That is the expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. Forcefully you can expire the expiratory reserve volume, but you can't expire the residual volume. Fine. Tidal volume, it is the normal breathing volume, air volume. And inspiratory reserve volume, so we will breathe it with effort, that is forceful inspiration. So all four volumes are given here. Fine. And the capacities are given here. So vital capacity, it includes 3 volumes. So here you can see that from here to here it is marked. So what all things will come under this? ERV, that is expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume. Together it constitutes the vital capacity. Fine. Like here we have next total lung capacity. We have got the total lung capacity here. So in the total lung capacity, you will see all four volumes. What are they? That is the residual volume, expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, and inspiratory reserve volume. So what is this one? Functional residual volume. Functional residual volume, it includes only two volume. What are they? Expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. Fine, it includes the expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. So here you can see these two. And then what is the next one? Inspiratory capacity. What is inspiratory capacity? It includes the tidal volume and also inspiratory capacity. Here you can see that one. Fine. So these four volumes and respiratory capacities you have to know. In the exam, this will be asked. Now let us go through the next slide. So in the next slide, we have got the diagram. Okay. So here you can see the graphical presentation and the same diagram which I have used for the explanation. So this graph, if it is given for the MCQ, you must be able to identify. Just here a graph is given. So this one will be the tidal volume. So this is the inspiratory reserve volume and this is the expiratory reserve volume. Fine. And this is the residual volume. So hope it is clear. It is given here. So this graph is a little bit smaller. Let me take the next slide. So here it is very clear. Fine. So this one is the TV. Fine. Tidal volume. And this one is IRV, that is inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. This you have to keep in mind, and the combination of the respiratory volumes will become the respiratory capacities. This you have to know. Fine. Now let me go to the next slide. Now here let me just say you something. Now, so just for our understanding, suppose that if you take the lung size, now suppose this is the lung, fine, and this is the volume of the lung, I mean normal breathing time when you take the air. So normally when you take the air, you'll breathing in the normal volume of air, which is called tidal volume. Fine. So if the normally how much air you'll be taking? 500 ml. And forcibly when you inspire, you'll be taking some more amount of air. Fine. The diagram is not coming properly. Let me rub this and try to draw once again. If I can, it will be nice. Otherwise, let it be. With this only you understand. Okay. Okay. So what I wanted to say is, see, this is the normal size of the lung. Let me take the pen. So this is the normal size of the lung. Fine. So when you will be breathing in, some amount of air will come inside. So that amount of air is the TV, tidal volume. Fine. And suppose if you are in need of more air, forcibly if you inhale some extra air, what is that extra air is called? It automatically increases the lung size. Fine. So that is called inspiratory reserve volume. It is inspiratory reserve volume. Fine. Now, you will be exhaling the normal volume of the air, that is TV. If you exhale, if you expire forcefully, some amount of air which is there in the lung, that will become expiratory reserve volume. It will become expiratory reserve volume. So this much amount of air you never give out. You can't give out this much amount of air. Fine. So these are the volumes. So here, what is how much amount of air your lung can accommodate all together? So that is the total lung capacity. So totally how much air our lung can accommodate, this is called TLC. What is TLC? It is the IRV plus TV plus, you can write ERV plus RV. Fine. So this is the total lung capacity. What is inspiratory capacity? Inspiratory capacity, IC. Inspiratory capacity, of course, you have got TV plus inspiratory reserve volume. Fine. Then what is this expiratory capacity? It of course include TV plus expiratory reserve volume. Fine. And what is vital capacity? Vital capacity, it is forceful after taking after forceful inspiration, how much air you are giving out, or you can write in the opposite. After forceful expiration, how much air you can take in. So this include expiratory reserve volume plus it include tidal volume plus it include the inspiratory reserve volume, that is the VC. TLC already I wrote. What is functional residual capacity? So functional residual capacity, it include residual volume, functional residual volume. So it include, it is the volume which will remain in the lungs. So that is the expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. So this formula you have to remember. So here in the TLC, you can substitute many values like IRV-TV. So instead of IRV-TV, what you can write in TLC? TLC. So what is it? IRV and TV? It is the inspiratory capacity. What is left out? Expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. Fine. Like this, you can just change the formula like ERV and TV. Sorry. Here we did mistake. So TLC, let me write once again this TLC. Let me erase this one. Let me erase. So it will take little time because I'm using this. I'm learning to use this. Fine. Okay. Let me erase once again. Okay, so TLC, what you have learned, let us take a look. So what is TLC? It is IRV, TV, ERV and FRC. Residual volume. All these four. Instead of writing these volumes, just you can use these capacities. So that just I wanted to say you. So what is TLC? Now TLC, it include all the four volumes. Wait, let me rub that also. Okay, TLC means what we are writing. So you are writing the inspiratory reserve volume. So you are writing inspiratory reserve volume plus you are writing tidal volume plus you are writing expiratory reserve volume plus you are writing the RV. So what I wanted to say, if in the exam these values, if they are substituted by some other capacities, you must be able to recall these volumes like IC is TV plus IRV, EC is TV plus ERV. We can substitute those values here, isn't it? So that's those things just you have to know. Fine. And what is this FRC? See this, actually we should not do this one. This will not come here. What is functional residual volume? That I told you, functional residual volume. It is the volume of the air which will remain in the lungs. So that is expiratory reserve volume plus RV. It is nowhere related to this what I am explaining. Fine. Hope you understood. Hope understood, children. Now let me go to the next slide. Hope it is clear. IC is TV plus IRV. Expiratory capacity is TV plus expiratory reserve volume, and vital capacity is expiratory reserve volume, inspiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume, and total lung capacity is all. Fine. So here you can substitute the formulae that I wanted to say you. Fine. Instead of writing IRV TV, you can write IC. Fine. Or you can write this, if you want to remove ERV, you can write IRV plus IC plus RV you can write. Fine. So that only just I wanted to say you. Okay, now let me go to the next slide, that is spirometer. So this is the spirometer. It is an instrument by which the respiratory volumes can be graphically represented on a strip of paper. So this apparatus include the air-filled chamber, and above that you'll be having a water-filled chamber, and above that you'll be having air-filled chamber. And here it is having one tube which is connected to the patient whose volume we are going to measure. And on the other hand, it is connected to the pen. Fine. When a person is asked to inhale the air, when he inhale the air from this chamber will get reduced and the water will come up. When the water will come up, this chamber, when it will move, what will happen to the position of the pen? It will move up. Fine. That is how the markings are marked on the graph. So when the person exhale the air will get filled here. The volume of the air in this chamber will increase, and the water, when the volume will increase, this chamber will get lifted up. When it will get lifted up, so here this will move. So I told opposite. Fine. Imagine, children, you know physics. Fine. So when air is filled here, it will get lifted up. When it will get lifted up, pen will lift up, the marking will be up. So when the person will inhale air, when he takes air, the air level will come down here. This lid will move down. Automatically the pen also will move down. Like this, the marking will be marked on the strip, and by this the study of the volume can be done by a physician. ಇದೇನಂತಾರೆ ಸ್ಪೈರೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಸ್ಪೈರೋಮೆಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ? ಒಂದು ನೀರು ತುಂಬಿ ಚೇಂಬರ್ ಇರ್ತದ, ಒಂದು ಗಾಳಿ ತುಂಬಿ ಚೇಂಬರ್ ಇರ್ತದ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇರ್ತದ. ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಇದು ಟ್ಯೂಬಿಗೆ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ ಗಾಳಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ಚೇಂಬರ್ನಾಗಿಂದ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಗಾಳಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಳಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದ. ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರು ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಬರ್ತದ. ಇದು ಡಬ್ಬಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದ. ಇದು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಮಾರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳ್ರ ಫೈನ್. ಮತ್ತು ಇದ್ರ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಉಸಿರು ತೊಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಹಿಂಗೈತಿಲ್ಲ, ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದ. ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತದ. ಓಕೆ, ಒಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಮೂವ್ ಆದಾಗ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಮಾರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳ್ತದ. ಫೈನ್. ಸೊ ಇದೇನು? ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸ್ಪೈರೋಮೀಟರ್. Now let me go to the next one, that is exchange of gases. Now exchange of gases, let me say next time. Fine. So what all things we have revised today? ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೇನು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದ. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು ಹೋಪ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ಯದ. ಗಾಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತೊಗೋತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದೇ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಹ್ಯಾಂಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಂಗೆ ಇದು ಪೆನ್ನನ್ನು ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇನಾದ graphical presentation through the spirometry what we get, and here you'll be noticing the according what we graph we will get through the spirometer, the volume of air will be marked on the graph, and the physician will be coming to know whether the breathing is normal or not in the patient. So that is there. And next we have to go to the this one. So here it is a lung diagram. So normally lung size will be this much, fine. So expiratory reserve volume and residual volume, expiratory reserve volume and residual volume of the air will be there always in the lungs, fine. This is the normal size of the lung. So when we give out or take in, that will become the tidal volume, and extra air what you take in, then the lung size automatically will increase. That will be the inspiratory reserve volume. Just you have to keep this in mind. And we have studied the definition of respiratory volumes, that is tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and residual volume. You have to know the definition. And then we have studied about the capacities, which are the combination of different pulmonary volumes. Inspiratory capacity, that is TV plus IRV, and expiratory capacity TV plus ERV, and functional residual volume, it is ERV plus RV, and vital capacity, it includes TV IRV plus ERV, expiratory capacity. And total lung capacity includes all the 4 volumes which you have studied previously. So this is about the respiratory volumes and the respiratory capacity. So next time we will be going through the exchange of gases. Okay, bye children.